All right, I got some cardio right now, and I guess I'll just talk to y'all for a quick little minute. I thought y'all deserve this video because I haven't really dived into why I got in the gym, why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, why I'm even recording myself in the gym, which, to be honest, is dead in here. If there were some people, I'd still do this. I don't really care. But yeah, it's quiet. I like when it's quiet like this, though. I can think, talk to you guys, and I got to do about an hour of cardio. But while we do the cardio, talk to you guys on how I got in the gym. So a lot of you know me as Derpy or Dupree, Luke Dupree, but I do go by Luke Barron on here on the videos and whatnot. The biggest thing is I remember what really got me into the gym was when I was growing up. I always like hated the way I look. Not always, but I got to a point where I noticed like, dude, I'm getting a little bit more like chubby. I didn't like it. I was a little bit more of a chubby fat kid. This was like middle school, and it was about middle school, like right before middle school. So like elementary, I would just kind of lift some weights that we had. And I remember there was one time, dude. This is so stupid. I thought that like shoulder pressing, like over my head, for some reason I was stupid. I thought that was bench press. It was not, and I was like, "Dang, bro, why does bench press so hard?" Like I said, I was kind of stupid. I was like, "Bro, I did not know what I was doing." So I did that. That's all I knew what to do. Dumbbell curls. I didn't know nothing else really, and a lot of treadmill running because I thought that would help me lose fat. I did that over time and I stopped because it didn't work. Obviously, it's not going to work. It's not how that works. I didn't see any really loss. I didn't know how to lose fat or do any of that. And then here comes freshman year. This is where it turned. So I wasn't really working out at all. Just kind of finding ways to lose weight. The only thing, like I said, I knew what to do is eat, like starve myself or run a lot. And this is like canon for every dude, but I got my heart broke. Just to keep it really short and simple, my heart got broke by a girl that I liked freshman year. And I remember what hurt me, that hurt that I had so badly. I remember going home and just like doing sit ups all the time, and just I hated the pain that I had from that so bad because I knew it had everything to do with how I looked. And maybe there's more to it, obviously, but in my mind, it had everything to do with, gosh, I'm not good enough, straight up. So I started getting into that. Next thing you know, we've got some more weights, and I'm doing full on like actual split. I did a bro split, or I think I did PPL split too, push pull legs. All I had was working at home, working out at home. That's all I had, and it was it was something. But I did stick to a regiment, and I saw not a whole lot of progress, but I saw a little progress. And then I started going outside and walking, and that was that first phase of me really like working out and getting into the gym. But I didn't have a gym to go to yet. Fast forward after a little freshman year, this is where it truly took a big turn. I had already gone through my heartbreak, first heartbreak. I kind of moved on from that pretty quickly, and I was starting to really obsess over the gym, and I played football. And I remember it was 2022. I was a sophomore, and I had a game this day. I actually had a game, and I was playing JV. I was a lineman at the time, and I wasn't nothing crazy. I wasn't that good, but I was all right. And I just remember being like, dude, I don't want to play this game. Like, I hated football. I just was like, this is not what I want to do, straight up. And so I went to my coach, was like, I don't want to do this. So I straight up just told him, like, I'm done. I quit. And I remember that same day I quit football, I went to the gym, dude, and got my membership at Planet Fitness. And this was back in 2022 of October, I believe. It was right there, right October. And dude, I was so happy I made that decision. And that's when I started watching Max Taylor a lot. I remember that very day that I quit football to go work out, I went home and started watching literally Max Taylor. And I was eating the food I got. And dude, I was watching one of his gaming videos of him playing a horror game. It was peak. And that's how I started to truly fall in love with his content and was truly just inspired by Max Taylor and with everything he did. Like, dude, he was my inspiration. And I got to meet him, and that was awesome. And I told him about it, bro. I was like, dude, I quit football. I started watching content, and I started getting in the gym, like taking it heavy, like seriously. And it was awesome. So, anyways, that starts, and next thing you know, I'm in the gym heavy now. And by the end of 2022, I see some pretty good gains. I'd say I'm getting newbie gains, is what you call it. I'm starting to see some decent gains. I'm doing my thing, dude, and it's crazy that I'm now fully in the gym, and it all started because I got hurt and I didn't like the way I looked. That was like the biggest reasons. But now it's different. It was more because, dude, I don't know what it is. Like, I love this. I love pre workout. I love the gym. And during this era was actually, I'm proud to say that I got into the gym around the era of where the gym was actually getting really popular. And it was like Lex Little, Max Taylor, like hard style era, that 2022 era, if you know what I'm talking about, dude. The gym was popping, like everything was awesome. The vibes were immaculate. Beginning of 2023 to summer, so like 2023 January to about June, I officially started actually cutting weight, and I started learning how to eat right. And I was cutting weight. The only things I counted was my calories and protein. I didn't count fats or carbs. I didn't really get into that later on, but right now I was focusing on just calories and protein, and it still helped. I lost a good bit of weight. I got cut, but you see, I got a little too small. Like, dead serious. I got really small. To some people, I've had tell me I look a little different, which was awesome to hear. Like, I had people tell me, dude, you look so much different now. And, you know, I loved it. At the time, I was like, dude, I thought I was you know, I loved it. I was proud of what I've accomplished. I lost the weight. I hate it. And now I didn't think I knew I wasn't fat no more, and I never thought of myself as being fat. But then, over the summer, I was still working out, got in a relationship, and that continued on for a little bit. I was still working out, but this is the biggest mistake I've made on my fitness journey, and I didn't take a calculated and actually locked in bulk. Actually, I haven't really took one yet, technically, and that was 2023 to 2024. Bro, I was bulking, but I was eating whatever and working out not so good. And I don't blame the other person I was with. That was on me. But being in a relationship did not help. It was really a distraction from my goals, and I didn't realize that. Or I could have probably handled that better and tried to balance it out, but it's hard. So I got comfortable, was eating a lot. I honestly got out of weight. I got really out of shape, honestly. And it wasn't even like a bulk went too far. I didn't have no discipline. I lost it. And 2024 summer, back to square one, I get my heart broken. And that sucked. It broke my ego, broke everything. But that's another story for another time. Uh, went through that. Fast forward 2024 of October, I'm like, dude, I hate how I look. We got to lock back in. And I locked back in from there to the end of 2024. I make some progress. I'm getting bigger. But I start getting a little bit of a fat again around my stomach. I'm getting a little, I wouldn't say out of shape. I'm putting on muscle, but I just don't want to be this fat. So then it's this summer of 2025, and I actually like dialed in cut, and I think I could have done better, but like, dude, I can say I dialed in, and I got decently lean, and I've been able to showcase what I have under my fat, but not to the full extent. Like, I've got so much more progress and potential, but I thought I would share that with you. That's really been my journey, and dude, it's been awesome. It all started so small and has grown into this, me recording, me doing content. I never thought that it would go from me being in my back room doing sit-ups and doing freaking like barbell rolls with the crappiest small 15-pound barbell with like 5-pound weights on each side, dude. I never thought any of that would go from that to what I am, where I'm at now. And dude, it's crazy. The gym has taken me really far, and I thank God for that. God's definitely put that on my heart, and it's helped better my life. But I've entered into a new arc. My reason for being in the gym now, the core reason is still there. I love it. That has always still been there. But the things that surround my other reasons are I have so much more potential. I can do so much better, and I know it. I've hit square. I've hit another point to where I don't like the way I look right now. I know I look alright. I've got muscle. I can, rock outfits. I've beat that. I don't feel uncomfortable in outfits. My problem now is I want to look like so much better though when I take my shirt off. I don't want there to be anything I can look at and be like, yeah, we need to do better. No, I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror and know I worked undoubtedly hard. I've got like six pack and everything. Because I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not that cut as I want to be right now. I've lacked discipline, but that's where we're at in our gym journey now. The goal ultimately is to now begin and take a steady, calculated, and tracked bulk and track everything, the lifts. I want to get stronger. I want to put on more muscle, and I want to work on my weak points. My weak points are really right now my rear delts, my hamstrings. My hamstrings are bad, and my triceps need some work. They actually did get better. My arms got bigger, and my chest got a little bit more size. But that's another big one is my chest. We've got to grow the chest, and we've got to work on the abs. Besides that, those are the weak points that we're going to work on during this bulk, and I'm excited for the next year to see where I'll be. We're just going to keep on going, and this gym journey is not over. I just had to tell you all about the beginning, where we're at now. So yeah, I love this. If you guys want to follow along this journey and see where I go next, hit the subscribe button, like, but most importantly, get the gains. Get the freaking gains, bro. I'm serious. Get in the gym, get the freaking gains. Do that. Most important. Yeah. If you're watching this, you're a GOAT. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.